US Vice President J.D. Vance says he will lead the US delegation on technical talks due to begin this weekend on a wider agreement with Iran. It follows last night's signing of an interim deal by US President Donald Trump and his Iranian counterpart Masoud Pezeshkian, which ended their 3-month-old conflict.
This was not easy.
A carefully coordinated joint digital signing took place at Versailles, and at the same time thousands of kilometres away in the Iranian capital. The Memorandum of Understanding formally ends the war and kickstarts 60 days of talks on a more comprehensive deal. But already obstacles from both sides are beginning to emerge. Iran's chief negotiator Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf is warning that whilst Tehran has no intention of disregarding international law, the Strait of Hormuz will never go back to the way it was before. And early this morning in Washington, the US president took to Truth Social, defending the deal, accusing critics of jealousy and stupidity. Among its detractors, some top congressional leaders, with many believing it achieves less than the Obama-era JCPOA.
I think the hope was attack Iran, take out its leadership, weaken the regime to the point where the Iranian people could take back their country. That unfortunately hasn't happened.
So now they will be able to sell their oil for higher prices and bigger profits than before the war started.
But an ally of the president says the difference with this deal is that it relies on performance rather than on trust.
We're going to be the big stick behind the negotiations that never existed under President Obama.
The agreement ends the war on all fronts, where much of the south and the capital have been destroyed. It also envisions a full Israeli withdrawal from occupied areas.
The Israelis, just like everybody else, have to respect this peace process that is fundamentally good for them and good for the entire region.
But in what has been described as stubborn negotiations, Israel has told US officials that it would continue its fight against the Iran-backed armed group Hezbollah, ensuring that the battles in Lebanon will be a central hurdle in achieving a comprehensive agreement for the entire region. David Landy, RT News.
Well, staying with the signing of that Memorandum of Understanding by the US and Iran, and it's in a bid to bring peace to the Middle East and also return calm to global economies. Well, we're joined by Dr. Edward Burke from UCD. Thanks so much for coming in to speak to us this evening. We saw J.D. Vance there at that press conference earlier saying this is already bearing fruit. We've seen 12.5 million barrels of oil pass through the Strait of Hormuz. What do you make of this Memorandum of Understanding?
I agree with relief. 7,000 people dead, untold damage to the global economy, not including the US economy, of course. They paid a very, very high price, but yet Iran's ballistic missile capability remains largely intact. Clearly, they retain the ability as well in terms of air defence, in terms of counter-strikes with drones. They've learned, they've innovated, and I think the Revolutionary Guards will think in Iran think that this is quite a victory for them. It's
a 12-point plan, but the 60 days in which to negotiate a comprehensive deal that would stay in place, presumably. Is the basis that so far of what we've seen, would it make for a better deal than the one that was brokered by President Obama and ultimately torn up by Donald Trump in his first term?
Yeah, that remains to be seen. Presently, I'm not optimistic. The details are quite vague. Obviously, Donald Trump yesterday in his press conference seemed to sort of say that he was now content for Iran to have a nuclear program of sorts. Whether they be able to dilute the enriched uranium down to 3.67%, which under Obama's Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action was agreed as sort of the level of enrichment that is required for civilian use. So whether that's possible in what seems to be a very accelerated time frame that the Trump administration is aiming for is doubtful. However, having the International Atomic Energy Agency back in the fold, Donald Trump notoriously hates international institutions or any institution that's part of the wider United Nations framework. So that's a positive. So we might be able to do something that is similar. However, the waiving of all sanctions in this, or at least the intent to waive all sanctions, that caught me by surprise because the Obama administration never did that.
And President Trump originally said regime change was the goal here. Now, we backed away from that a little bit as the war went on. But if anything, it could probably be argued that Iran has come out of this stronger. They know they now have a bargaining chip, the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the language that is very alarming, including for European governments, is this text about Oman and Iran now sort of, perhaps acting as custodians of the Strait of Hormuz. That was never the case. This is an open strait, a very, very important, area of maritime traffic for the global economy. And the idea now that there might be some type of gatekeeping done by two states or even the United States involved as well, I think that's extremely worrying for many global actors. So it's, yes, I mean, I think in terms of Iran has come out of this resilient. This is the first time since 1991 that you could say that the United States, in terms of conventional war, obviously different when it comes to combating insurgents in Iraq, etc. This is the first time that this overwhelming US superiority in the Middle Eastern region has been challenged, and their ability to project force, not least in terms of the non-elimination of Iran's ballistic missile capability or their ability to strike back against US strikes. This is not a unilateral win for the United States in terms of its conventional military capabilities, and that is something that is new and will definitely, I think, give some solace to the regime.
And of course, Lebanon is part of this deal. We haven't yet heard from Israel, but it's going to be crucial that Israel plays ball and respects this deal, isn't it?
Absolutely, and I think it's in terms of his political survival in the future, it's arguably in Prime Minister Netanyahu's interest to try and scupper this deal. So I think, we are really getting very confused messages in terms of the Iranians seem to think that the Israeli Defense Force should now withdraw from Lebanon entirely. Some parts of the US, the Trump administration are saying that's not necessary, but there should be a cessation of hostilities within Lebanon. So this is all extremely vague, and you wouldn't be optimistic that we can get through these 60 days without some lurching back into new hostilities, particularly in Lebanon.
Certainly a lot to do. Dr. Edward Burke from UCD, thank you for coming in to speak to us on 6-1.
Thank you.